Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is my next Focus on video. My Little Pony Tell Your Tale, the Board Trot, and the mystical magical waterfalls, and Allura. The Board Trot was definitely a very surprising development, as Izzy literally magically creates a theme park out of, like, nowhere. So, whoa! And unfortunately, very distressing for Allura that she does so by basically busting up the Nova Charm into several Nova Shards. No! The Nova Charm, my only chance to get home, has been destroyed forever! Let's go back to the cave and sulk, cause we're stuck here forever! No! And at first, it feels like that, as kind of was said by Garrus in Friendship is Magic, that the Board Trot is just a fun place to hang out, because, well, it's a giant magical amusement park. That would be every pony's first thoughts. But now it's developed these almost magic portal waterfalls, which appear to have the same kind of magic that the Nova Charm did, which had the ability to open portals. And as Twilight Sparkle said in an episode of Make Your Mark, magic is always changing, growing stronger. And of course that makes sense, because as long as the thing that's powering the magic continues to grow and get stronger, it makes sense that the magic itself and what it can do will also get stronger. And the Nova Shards also kind of remind me of what happened with the elements of harmony in Friendship is Magic. That element of harmony in some ways, you know, transformed to suit them and sort of what they were about, that they were no longer just these formless rocks. And I have a feeling that the Nova Shards kind of operate the same way, that as Izzy was creating the Board Trot, she created an area for each of the main six, and by extension in some ways made each of the Nova Shards represent one of the main six. So in some ways, the Board Trot basically represents what the main six are all about, which is obviously unity, friendship, community. So it kind of makes sense that at the end of the day, after an entire day of all these ponies coming together in unity and friendship and just enjoying the Board Trot, all that magic would come together in this one big giant, like, rainbow, almost star kind of thing floating up in the sky, which apparently none of the other ponies have noticed. So, aww. The Board Trot's been around for a while. The ponies have enjoyed a lot of time there. So in some ways, all that magic has kind of been building up to this point. Because a lot of the questions I've always had about the Board Trot are, how does this place work? What is it for? What are the rules that the Board Trot sort of operates by? And specifically in this episode, why do these magical waterfall portal things appear now? So all that magic of all the ponies coming together and just enjoying themselves in unity and harmony and stuff has just kind of been building for all this time, to the point where it's, you know, just unleashed these magical portals, kind of the same way that the Earth Pony magic did. Like, Earth Pony magic didn't appear at first. It was only until the ponies really worked together did the Earth Ponies get their own magic. So it made sense that it wasn't going to happen immediately, and I think especially perhaps why right now is that Allura was here. If the ponies and Allura can both go to the Board Trot and not end in this, you know, in some ways horribly, which it almost did, to be honest, but even so, Allura and the ponies were basically here enjoying the Board Trot relatively together. So maybe that was almost like the tipping point a little bit. So we're like, it has accumulated enough unity magic to enable the Board Trot to have these waterfall portals. And at first I was surprised. That's sort of an odd thing. This is definitely not theme park related, and why do they open portals to who knows where? But then I remembered that the Board Trot is essentially based on the Nova Charm, which originally had portal magic. It feels like this is basically an evolution of the Nova Charm, and of course we have barely scratched the surface of this portal magic and even how it works. Even Sunny is like, I don't know how this is gonna work, but we have to go through the portal and save our friends. Roar! How do these portals work? Where do they go? And more interestingly, where are they going to go in the future? So, ooh. the Board Trot was based off the Nova Charm, which was basically in some ways powered and influenced by the Main Six, so therefore these Nova Charm now operates by the Main Six's rules. They are basically powered by unity, so they have to do this together. So roar. When Sunny tries to fly through the waterfall portal, basically nothing happens. But when they all like summon their cutie mark magic together, then they actually have the ability to summon the portals and in some ways control it. So, the both entrance and exit of these portals is probably going to be water-based. Like at the Board Trot, the entrance of the portal is these magical waterfalls, but the exit of the portal was sort of like this like pond thing in the land of the Hopalatas, shall we say. So what this could mean is that these portals could open perhaps to anywhere in the world of Equestria using some kind of body of water, like maybe a pond, a river, a lake, maybe a spot in the ocean. So that has some very interesting possibilities. So and the everything at the end of this episode where the waterfall basically in some ways looks like it's almost gonna like explode and then basically throws this like giant like wave of almost like magical water energy thing at all the ponies and the Hopalatas. Yo, we just got back. An entire population of Hopalatas are now singing with the ponies in unity and friendship. So I think that it was almost like the waterfall magic almost had to like overflow and just like release some of this energy because it was just too much for it all to handle all at once. So so yeah, the waterfall portals were a very unexpected and very surprising development, but a very interesting one, particularly for a certain snow leopard who has all but given up hope of finding home. May have just been shown the key that will lead her back home. So, Allura sees like this almost like whisper of like magical rainbow smoke that directs her over to one of the Nova Shards. It's almost as though the Board Trot's magic is trying to lure Allura back towards the ponies, because when Allura is basically trying to just leave and go home, it kind of goes around the ponies and sort of highlights them and then goes to the Nova Shard. So it's almost like the Board Trot's magic is saying, no, Allura, you can't run away. If you want to go home, you have to work this out with the ponies, and here's your first step to doing so. Ooh, that is just so interesting, and in some ways, so MLP. So, roar. And of course, then she figures it out, that the Nova Shards haven't been destroyed. They're right there, and she's gonna get them back. This is what I was expecting to happen, that Allura was gonna realize that, yeah, the Nova Shards are basically in the Board Trot, and she could go get them back and probably make the Nova Charm again. That's gonna be interesting to see what happens to the Board Trot if Allura is able to actually take one of the pieces of the Nova Charm. Will, like, the Board Trot just, like, shut down entirely, or will that, like, section shut down? Almost in some ways, I think, quote-unquote, cutting to the chase, and what I think is eventually gonna happen is that I don't think Allura's gonna have to steal the Nova Shards. The Board Trot has essentially developed its own portal magic. All they have to do is learn how to control it, so that maybe the Board Trot will almost operate kind of like as a hub for all these like portals. You could go to almost anywhere in the world of Equestria through the Board Trot. So, the final thing between the ponies and Allura could be that the ponies will actually help her to find her way home, which could be why the Board Trot's magic almost wants Allura to find the Nova Shards. Individually they can't, but together they can. That maybe the ponies won't be able to in some ways control this magic themselves. Maybe they're gonna need Allura's help to do that. I mean, we've seen that Allura does have a lot of magical powers, so maybe somehow they're gonna have to like come together to learn how to control the magic and the portals. But as an analyst, and well, just simply knowing how this show works, I definitely see the future for the Board Trot, Allura and the ponies somehow coming together. I definitely look forward to seeing that happen, because the Board Trot is a lovely, fun place that even Allura and Twitch can enjoy together. together, and I would just love to see Allura and the ponies work out their differences, and who knows, maybe even be friends, and regardless, just enjoy this lovely magical place together, because I have a feeling that's exactly what it's for. In any case, I definitely found this development very interesting, and I look forward to seeing where this goes in the future. So, roar! So that is the end of my focus on video on the Board Trot's magical portals and Allura. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong and pony on. Blue Star out.